runs 3 on their engines. You know, they're a state agency, they run wildland. For as long as I can remember here, I've been the chief for 7 years, we run 2. But once in a while, we got Mackenzie over there, we have our intern program. Stand up, Mackenzie. That's the intern program. That's our people. So we use our interns, and our interns get about $125 a day. That's it. No benefits, nothing, just $125. Thank you, Mackenzie. But that's the only way right now that we have to augment the engine by putting 3 on there. Think about 2 people on the engine. One's got to drive, one's got to talk on the radio. If it's a fire, one's got to pump. That leaves 1 other firefighter to get to the front door, pull the hose line, and we still got to hook up for water supply. 4 is what we would love to have. But 4, that's a pipe dream. That's pixie dust that just doesn't happen. Stockton used to have 4, and they ended up going down to 3. I got a couple Stockton firefighters on my board. So 3 is what NFPA, the National Fire Protection Association across the United States, recommends. Obviously FD&Y, because of the buildings, you know, how tight, condensed they are, they need more firefighters. But rural firefighting, 2 is not enough to do what we want to do to be effective to put the fire out. The bottom line, what we need on our structure fire is right around 15 to 17 firefighters on scene. What's happened in my time, that I've been a firefighter, I'm on my 43rd year of being a firefighter, but when I was a firefighter, I rode tailboard. We didn't have all the things of 2 in, 2 out, RIC, all the other things that are mandated that we have to do through NFPA, through policies and procedures that protects the firefighters, right? But to do that, that means we have to have more firefighters. So the bottom line, what we want is we want to have 15 to 17 on scene to fight a fire. Here, in your fire district, there's 4. There's 2 engines, there's 2 firefighters on one, there's 2 on the other, and then there's me, and I'm just the guy who's talking on the radio, calling in more equipment, talking to aircraft, trying to get a handle on it. But 3 on there, that means we would have 6. If the Versa station was staffed, that means we have 9. Now we're into a number where we can make a difference. The other thing you got to understand is, and I'm going to call them overlapping calls. And we do emergency reporting, and in our reporting, there's data sheets like we had on there on the strategic plan. But you'd be amazed in your district here, your community, how many times, and they're sitting right over here, of what I'm going to call overlapping calls happening at the same time. 3, 2, where we're already on scene of 1 of a vehicle accident, and another's calls coming in. That means someone else has to respond to the call. And again, my relationship with CAL FIRE is amazing, off the charts. Do I have anything negative to say about CAL FIRE? Absolutely not.
Hey, Chief, that call occurred today. We were overlapping, and CAL FIRE shut down for the winter.
Yeah. So, and what I was going to say with that, I wish the Hogan station was open 24/7. If you don't know, it's not. It's a seasonal fire. Right now, whatever happens in this town, that station's not coming. When fire season kicks in, and that usually happens right around May, and then when fire season closes, you know, during that 6, 7 months, that station's staffed, and they help us out with overlapping calls. It's a good thing, right? But right now, CAL FIRE is staffed down to where they normally have 22 engines, they're down to 4 or 5 engines. That's between Tuolumne County and Calaveras County. That's not my problem. CAL FIRE doesn't work for us. My problem is our 2 engines that are here. So 3 on there, it's just, look at it, if you're low, I don't know how I can put it at your house. If you're doing a project at home and you got 1, but you got both your kids to help you out, it's just more, and I don't like to use the word manpower, but more firefighters on an engine gets us to be able to take care of your problem in a timely manner.
Okay, thank you.
If I can, Chief, can you explain real quick on those same lines for the 2 in, 2 out, how long it takes for a structure on average to go fully involved, and why you can't go in, why you wait for another engine when you only have 2 people on the engine to go inside for a rescue or whatever it may be?
All right, I won't try to get my professor cap on, but A fire doubles every minute in size. Every minute a fire goes unchecked, it doubles in size. Our average response time for Calco, that's Calaveras Consolidated, Valley Springs, all those areas, Walls, is right around, I'm gonna say 9.5 to 12 minutes. That's our response time, okay? So the fire already has a, especially if you're in the east end, the west end of town, I do have a agreement with Clements, if they're available with one engine to come in and help us out on a fire. But our job on a vegetation fire, because people say, we don't need Calco, we got CAL FIRE. Understand this, again, CAL FIRE is very important, but our job is to try to keep the fire 1 to 2 acres. Try to keep the fire from going to 1 to 2 to 15 to 20 and to take out homes. And I'm going to give you a quick example. I know Francisco wants me to stop, but people say, I watch social media. People say, you know what, we don't need you. We'll go volunteer. Folks, here's my comment. I used to work in a volunteer fire department. My wife and I have been together since 6th grade, and I worked at Byron Volunteer Fire Department. We ran, if we were lucky, 2 calls a week. The siren would go off, and all of us would race from whatever we were doing, we'd get to the firehouse, and we'd go on the call. Volunteers are incredible. They're great firefighters. But what volunteer here is going to run, we run 1,860 calls a year, that average to 5 calls a day. That's average. In the summertime, we run helping union, sometimes 10, sometimes 15. Turnout time from beginning to end is about 33 minutes. That means from the time of call, till the time we get on the rig, till the time we go deal with the incident, till the time we come back, 38 minutes. Okay? I'll give you 30 minutes. Now I'm going to pick on seniors. Bruce. Everybody knows Bruce, great guy. But we have volunteers there. We got, let's say, Starbucks. And we'll take one more Taco Bell. How many times do you think the owner of the business is going to let their employee drop their tool belt and go on these calls after the 5th, 6th, 7th time on a 30-minute turnaround? And if your comment is, well, we don't need them, we'll take anybody. Sorry, folks, I'm going to tell you. Watch the news. Watch what goes on. I'm not going to put me, my board, my family in a position to be sued because we don't have the right firefighter. A volunteer firefighter has to go through training. They have to get their certs. They still have to have, there's a lot of mandates that happen, and I'm okay with that. We're just too busy to make that happen. Now, as an auxiliary part of a volunteer being the 3rd firefighter on the rig, I'm all in, if that'll help us. I got no problem with that. And that's kind of maybe my plan a little bit with the Versa station. But for those that think we'll just go ahead and be a volunteer department, it's not sustainable here, just here. Am I saying that right?
Thank you, Chief.